It's a beautiful morning. We are at Prairie Oaks Metro Park. Yeah, Prairie Oaks Metro Park. We're gonna run around the lakes this morning. They got 3 little ponds here. If the camera will center. So we're on that red dot, and I think I'd like to go counterclockwise, just like every track meet I've ever been in. So I'll start with that and enjoy the views. I've been here once before and recorded a video, and I actually stopped at that exact same porta potty that's sitting open right now. We're gonna go right by. One thing I did forget this morning was a little belt that holds my phone. So I have to hold my hand in my phone like a caveman. Boy, as soon as I got here, it's 10:20. As soon as I got here, 4 more cars pulled in. I saw on the news the Olympics are officially delayed, postponed. It's a nice view of the lake. Whew. And everybody kind of knew it was coming, that the Olympics were going to be postponed. I'm not sure how the Olympic Committee gets all of its funding, but I know Tokyo would have been out a lot of money if they had done the Olympics and nobody showed up to watch them in person. So, yes, it's health reasons, financial reasons, all those things. But my big question now is for the runners that have already qualified for the Olympic marathon or for other events in their country. If it gets delayed by an entire year, which it looks like it's going to be delayed for an entire year, now what? You know? Are they going to rerun the Olympic marathon trials? Mud. Ooh, more mud. Call that the ankle snapper. What kind of a heartache would you have if you qualified for the Olympic marathon as an American or any other nationality, and now all of a sudden you have to either do it again to prove that you belong in the team, or you try again and you lose. I'm not sure which is worse, having to go through the stress and feeling of being basically chased down, or going through that race again and not making it. Morning. past, I had the privilege of meeting Ryan Hall and Sarah Hall. It was his first, maybe second year out of college. And Ryan Hall, unless it's some strange exemption because of a tailwind or something like that, I know he has the American record for the marathon. And his wife, Sarah, I believe was in the top 10 this year in the marathon trials. While I was in college, never made varsity, but I still got to go to training camp with Malone Cross Country. Coach Hazen has been at Malone since 1970, 1969, somewhere around there. And he has turned out to be one of the winningest coaches in all of college cross country. Not just the number of championships that he's won, but just consistently being in the top 5. And while I was training with Malone, we went out to Mammoth Lakes, California. Ryan is from Big Bear, California, went to Stanford. Morning. And at the time, he and Sarah were both training, both graduated from Stanford, married, and while we were out in Mammoth Lakes, we got to meet them, Deena Kaster, Meb Kaflutsky, Steve Scott. Really cool experience, and get to see just how intense their training is. Not only is it the mileage, but it's the mileage at pace, it's the mileage at altitude, it's the devotion to one thing. Reaching the north end of the pond. I was talking yesterday about the run streak guy who averaged 100 miles per week. And for these elite marathoners, that's their peak mileage. A lot of times is 100, 120 miles a week. And they're doing it quickly too. They're not just jogging around the park. They're doing long stretches of straight road. They're riding behind they're running behind their coach who's riding a bike. It's just a pretty incredible sight to see. So often I'm guilty of being an armchair quarterback, thinking, especially in baseball, I could have caught that. Not a good batter, but I keep thinking, I could have run that fly ball down, or I could have, done this or that. I've never thought that about running. There comes a point in your expertise or your training where you have just enough experience to realize just how difficult something really is to be in that top 0.1% of athletic endeavors, whether it is baseball or marathoning or anything else. I have just enough experience and expertise to know I am not that good, and am not afraid to admit it. Now, if you had asked me that when I was 18, I would not have said the same thing, because I had just enough experience to realize that I was good at something, but I did not have enough experience to realize just how good other people are and how dedicated they are to getting to be the best or stay the best. When we had the pleasure of meeting Deena Kaster, I think she was just getting back into her full training routine, because a week or so before her Chicago marathon, which, remember, this is their payday. Sponsors pay them to be there. They win prize money. A week or two before this big payday, she turned her ankle on a pine cone in her front yard and couldn't participate. And as a coach, I'd get on the boys especially. You can't play soccer during cross-country season. You can't play basketball during cross-country season. You can't play ultimate frisbee during cross-country season, because the silliest little thing can just derail months of work. Morning. Puppy? That's the dog park for sure. Last time I was here, it's not this nice. Last time I was here, I did probably at least two things wrong. One, I didn't start in the main parking lot. And two, I think I was on the bridle trail most of the time. So in addition to being off by the Canoe Launch area, I was running through ankle-deep water in parts. Kind of funny thinking back on it. Did not think it was funny at the time, though. I think I could have kept going on that trail back there. This trail will do. Not See, this is where my wife laughs at me and makes fun of me for getting lost. Here's the Canoe Launch. So, we'll just go back to where we were. This is much nicer than yesterday too, because Black Lake Woods pretty close to being overcrowded yesterday. We didn't bump into anybody or spit on anybody or get spit on, but it's crowded enough that I just kept scratching my head wondering if anybody was gonna say boo about being out there with so many people. Today we just passed a few dog walkers, occasional fishermen, occasional jogger. You get on a bunch of Facebook groups and I think people are so sensitive about being called a jogger. Not sure when that became a derogatory term. Maybe if you are really into racing and somebody calls you a jogger. There's an episode of Malcolm in the Middle. The title is Malcolm Holds His Tongue, and I'm pretty sure you can see most of the show in clips on YouTube, but the subplot of that is that Hal, the dad, takes up race walking and gets so intense about it. He has an arrow-shaped helmet, skin-tight clothes, race walking shoes. Morning. And at the time, like everyone else, I thought it was just funny because A, it's race walking, and B, he was really into it. Because in the episode, they get in this really big competition with a local guy who's been the race walker for a long time and gets all sorts of attention for it. And then Hal wants nothing more than to beat him. So he videotapes him, tries to figure out how he keeps winning, and finds out that he's lifting, which means in race walking that both feet are off the ground at the same time. Because the rule is you have to have your front leg straight, and you have to have at least one foot in contact with the ground at all times. So when he sees that, he prints out a photo, shows him the evidence, and when he confronts him about it, he says he's nothing but a common jogger. So in that sense, it is a bit of a derogatory term. But if somebody called me a jogger right now, I'd wave back to them, say, hey, morning. But people get so uptight about being called joggers on these social media platforms, especially Facebook, when there's more back and forth interaction. It's hard to tell if it's real or if it's just internet reaction. Before finishing on the lake, I'm gonna take a walk over the bridge. Not sure if this is an old rail line, but This is part of the trail that I ran last time I was here, not knowing where I was. It was nice. It was a very long run. There's Darby Creek. And back over. After yesterday's run, my quads were sore and weak. But now that it's been a couple of days since I pounded the pavement, a faster pace with John, feeling better. There's the pretty lake. Everything looks better when there's sunshine. Alright, back to jogging. Looks like we'll have a bonus water crossing up here. Either that or the dogs that are up ahead just did it because they enjoyed it. Just enough space to hop over. Back to my 10-minute miles. I just checked my pace. I don't know how you feel about racing. I've done just this past fall, did a mile kids run with my kids. I pushed the 2-year-old in the stroller. The 5-year-old and 8-year-old walk jogged it. My 8-year-old daughter was very happy to beat her 5-year-old brother. But they're free to choose whether they want to be cross-country and track runners when they grow up, get old enough to compete. But sure would be fun to watch them. It's fun to watch them now, but I just want to be careful not to push them. I don't want to be the cross-country equivalent of a stage dad, pushing them into doing something they don't necessarily want to do, like doing. There's a Nice view of the pond as we come up toward the finish. I think what I was saying about being a stage dad is basically true of every type of parenting activity. You want to encourage them to do things that you know they're going to be good at, but you also don't want to put their thumb in the middle of their back and force them, especially when they feel forced. I chose the wrong side here. The other side looks so much drier. That's wet. That's my sock. Oh, well, not new shoes anymore. Alright, I'm just gonna walk right through the pond now to get the mud off of my shoes. Oh. So, these were new shoes. But I don't want them to be muddy, so I'd rather have them be wet. You can see the porta potty where we started. Pro tip of the day: if you don't have a boot dryer or a shoe dryer, stuff newspaper in your shoes, and the next day you're dry as can be. That's what I'm gonna have to do. That's all the use of newspaper is anymore, because the advertisements, coupons. Most newspapers have a big online presence now anyway. No cars. Almost to the finish. Take a look at this pond. Yep, that's the pond with that tiny island and individual tree. Get a better look at it from over here. Mile run I was talking about is the Chloe 5K. Kids did the mile. Last time I did a 5K was the same place, Chloe, and ended up doing a very hard push to the finish, trying to beat my wife. So we're both pushing strollers. She had our youngest at the time, and I had our oldest, both in strollers. My wife is very competitive, so when she saw that we were getting really close, she sped up, and I sped up, and she beat me by a stroller length. I can help just be happy for her, because she's a very good athlete. So there's a tiny island. Nice view of the park. Hopefully this isn't the last sunny day this spring, but it seems to be fewer and farther between that we have these nice sunny days. So we did a 30-minute run, 2.5 miles. I'm trying to use my GPS data to also put the map up. So, got the GPS data on Strava, and another nice day for running. Part of the reason I'm able to be out right now is because I don't work as a realtor, but I take photos for realtors in Central Ohio, and realty and construction are considered essential right now. And if you service essential services like real estate or construction, you can also be out and also take or exercise at the same time. Because obviously, right now everybody's allowed out to exercise in Ohio. It's not the same everywhere, so I'm getting it in while I can and sharing it as much as I can too. So hopefully you are enjoying some exercise with Treadmill TV. Hopefully you're staying safe and social distancing in real life, not just the social distance in the sense of getting out with me for a little bit of distance. So enjoy the rest of your day and be safe.